Hi guys, it's Kiarka here back with another speed build. This is a speed build of a New Orleans bed and breakfast. I almost said Airbnb, but no, this is a classic style of bed and breakfast. The reason it's not an Airbnb is just because, I don't know, I just didn't really feel that vibe. This was more of like a classic bed and breakfast idea in the sense that it was a place that I saw had a lot of history. It's a place that I felt like was very well known in the area and was kind of famous, so people from all over would come around to this place. So an Airbnb just didn't really feel like the vibe. It felt much more like, again, a classic bed and breakfast. I've never personally stayed at a bed and breakfast. My understanding of them and how they are different from hotels is that it's more like someone's home. It's more like a place where someone lives and opens up their space to you. So there's more of like a living room and a dining room and a kitchen rather than like a whole hotel setup. Let me know if any of you have ever stayed in an actual bed and breakfast, not necessarily an Airbnb, but an actual bed and breakfast. How was it? What did you think? What was the experience like? I'd love to know. If you have any bed and breakfast, not requests, but recommendations, let me know, because I am, well, not right now, not currently, but in the future I would be looking forward to traveling and perhaps staying at one, just because the concept just sounds so quaint and cute to me. But yeah, anyways, I'm setting it up here. I've actually never been to New Orleans either, so this build itself is kind of a shot in the dark in terms of design, in terms of just what I was going for. I briefly looked at some Google images of various buildings in New Orleans, and I got the sense that there's just a lot of different architectural styles. There's a lot of different ways I could go about it. I kind of went in this direction of a traditional kind of southern look to the home with some brighter colors, and the interior of the actual build is kind of, it's a little bit French, to be honest, but I don't know, when we get there, we'll get there. We'll see what you think. Let me know what you think. But here I'm putting a sign out front. I end up not putting any words on the sign. I delete those words later just because, I don't know, I just didn't like the color of it. It wasn't really the vibe. So we just kind of end up having a blank sign on the outside, in which I kind of was just like, you know what, use your imagination to fill in what that blank sign says, just because I didn't like any of the wording that was available to be put on the sign. Here I'm just doing my greenery. I wanted this to be very luscious and very, have very beautiful plant life. Whenever I looked at pictures of New Orleans, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, just as my reference, I saw a lot of these big beautiful trees, like the one I have on the side here with these low hanging leaves. I just thought it was so beautiful, and just a whole bunch of kind of nature there, and I thought it was really nice and I wanted to include it, so I just put in a lot of different flowers, bushes, things like that. I didn't go too crazy in terms of color just because I don't know, I'm a stickler with color palette, and I'm, as you know, if you've been on this channel for a while, I mentioned in my old videos, kind of afraid of colorful plants. I don't know why, just is an interior design fear of mine. I think they intimidate me and scare me, and I'm just not ready for it. But in the future, I will experiment more with colorful plants. In the meantime, I thought that these white flowers were actually very pretty. I am very happy with how this outdoor area turned out. I put those seats on the outside. I figured that people who are staying at this bed and breakfast can go out there and sit and eat some breakfast. And then on the side here, I just end up putting a little car park where I imagine that the owner of this bed and breakfast just parks their truck. Because they live here too, so I imagine that they needed a place to be. I used a truck from the debug menu. I used this black truck here. Initially I put these two cars down just because I couldn't decide what color I wanted. I thought about this tan one, but I thought that the black truck looked better, so I ended up going with that. And then just stuck a trash can here just for realism's sake. They need somewhere to put their trash on the outside. Parked a bike on the outside, put a tree over here, a little chair. Little rocking chair on the porch because, it's the South and I feel like people sit in rocking chairs there a lot. I don't know. Is that a stereotype? Haven't spent a lot of time in the South, unfortunately. I'd love to go to New Orleans. I've heard it's wonderful. I think I'd have a good time. Maybe in the future. We'll see. Anyways, here I am just putting out my floor plans, dividing my rooms. So this is technically a 4-bedroom build, but one of the bedrooms is for the person who owns the bed and breakfast, so that one's occupied. So there's basically 3 rooms in which guests can stay, which is relatively small, but I think bed and breakfasts in general are relatively small. Like, again, they're not hotels, it's like someone's home. So I guess this place would be relatively exclusive, probably pretty expensive, as you'll see from how I'm doing the interior design. But you know, we like that VIP lifestyle, so keep that in mind. It took me a hot sec to figure out what the vibe was. So I kind of experiment with some different things here. You'll see me going with some different concepts. Please don't get attached to this fireplace or that painting. That whole thing ends up changing. I decided my accent color, or my metal color, was gold, because I thought that was very, I don't know, beautiful and ornate, and it just kind of was the vibe that was speaking to me. And there is a lot of gold in this build, so be prepared for an enormous amount of gold. But I put in this trunk. I ended up not going with the TV just because, again, didn't feel like the vibe. I wanted something a little bit more old school, a little bit more fancy, since again, this was like a luxury hotel, or not hotel, bed and breakfast. So instead I actually put that record player over to the side because I thought that was much more the vibe that I was going for. But here I'm just setting up the, what is it called? The seating, put in these old looking chairs. I'm pausing so much. I'm like, sometimes I just forget words all the time, like all the time. And I know you guys know this because if you've seen anything that I do, I always forget words when I am building, and it is a fatal flaw of mine because sometimes I'll just be staring at a chair and then I just can't think of a word for chair. And I know that you guys at home watching this are screaming behind your screens, it's called a chair, but I don't know, I'm just scatterbrained, I guess? I don't know if I'm scatterbrained or if it's the fact that, like, I don't script the videos, I talk over them, so my natural improvisational speak is just of a person who's incredibly forgetful. Or if it's the fact that these videos are super fast, so I feel the need to talk super fast, and it's like this weird pressure for me to like talk very, very, very fast, and because of that I just end up forgetting a lot of words. Could be any of those things, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, all that matters is that I forget stuff, and I'm sorry. But yeah, put in this lounge chair. I don't know, is that a chase lounge? Is that what that is? Or is it just like a long bench seat? I don't know. Do you guys know what a chase lounge is? It's like a fancy French lounge thing. I don't know. I want to be an interior designer so bad. I need to update my vocabulary a little bit. So I thought about putting this like high table behind the couch just to provide extra seating, since I figured there'd be a lot of people in and out of this house. I ended up scrapping that idea just because it didn't really look the vibe. It wasn't fancy enough. It seemed a little bit too casual, a little bit too like pull up a stool in a place that's covered in gold. I don't know. Didn't feel it. So instead I just put in this dining table to the side. I went with, I don't remember. I went with like a wood one, you'll see in a minute. And then I chose these chairs, which I thought were really interesting, just in terms of adding a unique style to the room. Man, it took me a while to find a table. Yeah, I ended up going with this table in this brown color. And then I used these chairs, which I thought were cool, put in a little gold light above it. And then here I am just figuring out which light that is. Took me so long to make this build just because, I don't know, I've been so brain tired lately. Again, I've mentioned this in other videos, but just the holidays and, you know, everything, I get stressed very easily, so I think I've just been a little bit worn down lately. Not worn down, just worn out, you know? So making these big builds is just very tiring sometimes, and I love it. I totally love it, totally proud of this build, but I get so tired. I get so tired. So I think like visibly in the build, you can actually see me like slowing down. Like it takes me longer to choose things. It takes me longer to find things just because my brain itself is operating at like 30% capacity. But as you can see there for the piano that I just put in, I hated the black bench, so I ended up like shrinking down these 2 pink ottomans and like placing it on top so that the bench looked pink instead of black. And I'm actually pretty proud of that move. I'm proud of myself when I think of creative solutions, I think, because I feel like sometimes I take the easy way out and I just kind of, I don't know. But when I actually like don't like something and I do like an interesting thing where I like actually use the move object tool to put in like new benches over the old benches, which I know is like a very basic builder's technique in The Sims. When I use those techniques, because I don't usually use those techniques, I'm proud of myself, you know, and I think it's important to recognize the things that we like that we do, so that in the future I can do that again and, you know, improve my the way that I build. You know, I recently was watching some of my first builds that I put on YouTube. What was it, like September? I'm not sure. It was not that long ago at all. And I'm actually like, I don't know, I'm like really proud of myself. I feel like I've definitely improved as a builder. I feel like there's a lot I still need to learn. I'm definitely not I'm definitely not where a lot of other people, a lot of other builders are on YouTube, because there's some freaking insane people who are so talented, and I look up to them a lot. But I feel like I'm on a track, you know. I feel like I've been doing things that have been improving certain aspects of how I use the tools and play this game, and yeah, I don't know. It's New Year's. It's like I'm just reflecting, you know. I'm just looking back and talking about my old builds. I don't know. Enough about me. Let's look at the build. Let's see, where are we? This is the owner's room, because on the first floor I put in a desk for them so that they can do work here. Put a mirror above the desk so it can also kind of work as like a vanity. And this is the first floor bathroom. There's only 2 bathrooms in this build, which is probably not enough, considering this is supposed to be a place that houses a significant amount of people. So there's gonna be a line for the bathroom for sure, but you know, whatever. You don't pay for the bathroom, you pay for the experience, I guess. I don't know. Put in this painting, a lot of gold paintings in this build, and then I changed my tiles really quick. We're gonna go on to the entryway really quick. I kept the entryway relatively simple, put in a little pink carpet, and then I just put these 2 white side tables on the side here. On one I just put a vase of flowers, and then on the other I put in like a little area, which I figured would be like when you walk in the door, this is where you sign the guest book and like do some paperwork. Put a little clock there so people can check the time if they're like checking in a certain time. So that's just kind of like the check-in spot for the bed and breakfast. And then over here, just setting up the kitchen. Took me a while to figure out the vibe of the kitchen. I ended up going with something that I like 80% like. It's not my favorite kitchen design that I've ever done. I don't know, there was something very difficult about this kitchen that I just couldn't pinpoint. I don't know if it was the wallpaper tiles I chose, because I don't think so, because they're so pretty and I really like the combo of them. I don't know if it's just the pressure I put on myself to have this kitchen match the living room and other design spaces. I don't know what it was, but this kitchen was hard for me to design. It was very hard. I actually cut out some of this video because I literally spent like an hour just looking through counters, and I didn't want you guys to watch me for hours looking through counters, so I actually cut it out. But trust me, this was weirdly difficult for me. I don't know. Maybe it just goes back to that me being brain tired thing. Anyways, put in a gold painting, surprise, surprise, over there. And then over here just popped in a radiator, because you don't want a cold kitchen. You want a cozy kitchen where you can, you know, bake in warmth. I don't know. I mean, it's New Orleans, so I don't think it's really cold, but I put a radiator in anyways, you know, why not? Anyways, putting in the bathroom upstairs, basically the same thing as the bathroom downstairs, just a slightly different layout. Put in some decorations like the gold painting, and then a plant on the side there, because I actually did want to include, like, there is actually a lot of plant life in this build. There's a lot in the living room. and there's some in the dining room, and there's various plants in the bedrooms. Just because, again, as I mentioned before, like when I looked at pictures of places here, I just saw a lot of plants, and it was beautiful, like the nature. So yeah, just included a lot of that. And I like the pop of green. I thought that the green was a nice contrast to all the pastels that we had going on here. Anyways, I'm setting up this room now. This is more of like this is like a smaller shared bedroom. This is kind of like a bedroom you get like if you were coming here with like your kids or something and they needed their own room. Or it's like two friends and this is the room that they rented because it's just like two twin beds. But the other rooms have full-size king beds. And this is just a hallway. Kept it pretty simple, literally just put in a carpet and a bookshelf. Didn't want to go crazy decorating it, mainly because this was a very big build and I was getting tired, as I usually do. Building is it requires a surprising amount of stamina, you know? It's a lot of stamina. So is talking for 20 minutes over a video. This is also requiring me to have a lot of stamina. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I've just never talked this much in my life or built, you know, I've never talked this much in my life and never built this much in my life, and that's why it tires me out so much. It's just I'm not used to it. I'm definitely more used to it now than I was when I started making these videos, and I'm pretty proud of that too. You know, New Year's. I guess my New Year's resolution in terms of this channel, I think that I love my channel and I'm so proud of the videos. I'm so happy that like you guys actually like engage and talk to me and enjoy these. Like it's astounding to me that people actually watch these videos. It's wonderful, and thank you so much, and I really do appreciate it. Moving forward for my channel, I think for this new year I want to make more variety of videos. Like I love build videos and I will still do build videos, but I think maybe some playthroughs, maybe some Create a Sim videos. I could show off my like very cool custom content collection for Create a Sim, because that will blow your mind as well. Because I have I have collected Create a Sim stuff for literally like 5 years, so I have a pretty good collection. Anyways, back to the point. Create a Sim stuff, maybe just some other gaming videos, possibly non-Sims gaming videos, because I actually do play a lot of games that are non-Sims. But yeah, let me know. Do you guys play any games outside of The Sims that you'd like to see me make videos about? I play a lot of different games. I love Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley's wonderful. That is honestly the only one coming to mind right now. I play a lot of games, believe me, I do. And I will talk about that more in the future. But if you guys have any games that you play that you would like to see me play or review or talk about or do anything in any capacity in another game, let me know, because I feel like that's something else I want to add to this channel. It's just expanding, you know, because I don't know, I like doing a lot of different stuff. Let's see, what else? More challenge videos, I think, is something I'd like to do. And yeah, that is the build. It was very big, very fun to do. Got to use a lot of custom content that I totally love. And we got to chit-chat about New Year's and looking back. And yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful New Year's. I hope you guys had a great 2020. I know it was globally just not a great year, but I hope that you guys personally just had a good year. And I hope you have an even better one in 2021. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.